I was playing around in Suikoden 2 last night, and as I got to the end of the game, I thought no one has really made an in-depth video on the secret dungeon or the cut content before. And I mean a video showcasing the dungeon off in its entirety, explaining the contents of it, and showing you how to access it. There's a couple of videos online about the dungeon uploaded, but one of them only shows up to the first boss, and the other is in Indonesian, and his video is heavily edited. He seems to be using a modded game as it's partially in English and partially in Indonesian. He has extra things added in with editing tricks, such as gibberish dialogue translated with text copied from a forum thread. The text box has incorrect positioning. Things in Saja Village have different translations, and he refuses to answer any questions. So lots of editing trickery going on there. So I'm going to run through the entire dungeon. I'm going to explain everything step by step, explaining the soft locks and how to avoid them, and show off a bit of New Game Plus. For those that don't know what the secret dungeon is, it was intended to be an endgame dungeon that would lead into New Game Plus, allowing you to restart the game with your current levels, equipment, runes, inventory, and so on. The developers ran out of time while making the game, and as the dungeon was still incomplete, it was cut from the game along with New Game Plus. However, they both still exist in the game files. It's actually not a dungeon, by the way, it's more like a tower. Apologies for the lack of music, by the way, there's no music in the dungeon. So, despite the dungeon being unfinished and buggy, it's actually largely complete. And the developers, if they had a little bit more time, it very well would have been included in the game. So, what's wrong with the dungeon and why is it buggy? For starters, the boss battles are placeholders, and the boss fights themselves take place outside of the dungeon in the original boss locations. You'll see what I mean when we get there. The dungeon has several incomplete and broken scripts and triggers that can and will softlock the game at every boss fight. There's no music in the dungeon, as you can hear or as you can not hear. But there is music in random battles, although once you reach floor, I think 11, the wrong song starts to play in battles. Enemy names are incomplete gibberish. Also, once you reach the final 5 floors of the dungeon, the game will start soft locking regularly and very frequently. Now, I'll try to keep the video as raw and unedited as possible so that you can see the dungeon in its entirety. So if you see any small cuts or edits in the video, it's just me cutting out random battles or reloading save states because of the game soft locking. If that does happen, I'll mention it. I'll try to keep them in. It really depends how long the video ends up being. I don't want half of the video being me reloading save states to get past soft locks, or you sitting there watching me do random battles for a half hour. So I just want to show off the dungeon, explain it, and show how you can enter it. So the first thing, I suppose, you might be wondering how the hell I access the dungeon. If you're not interested in how I got in the dungeon or showing you how to get in there, just skip ahead a couple of minutes because I'd like to spend a minute or two explaining how to get into the dungeon so you can explore it yourselves. The entrance to the dungeon is in Saja Village. I'm going to load a save state here to show you. You'll see the save state on screen. There it is. Now we have music. Let me turn down my headset so it's not bleeding into the microphone. So, Saja Village is the little village in the northwest of the Highland Kingdom, which is only accessible after the final war battle. So if we go into the village, you'll notice over here behind this little girl playing with the chickens and the duck, there is a boulder. The very clearly out of place boulder was put there by the developers as a rush job to block the entrance as they ran out of time to develop the game. So how do we get inside? Well, normally we can't because it's blocked off by the boulder, but there are currently 2 ways to enter the dungeon, but but both of those methods require Gameshark codes. The first is a code that alters escape talismans to teleport you inside the entrance of the secret dungeon instead of teleporting you back to the entrance of the dungeon you're in. The second method is another code, but this code adds the dungeon as a teleport option with Viki. It'll be on her last page called Kaza Village. I'll show off both methods, but first I'll be showing off the teleport with Viki by selecting Kaza Village method. So I'm going to load another save state here where I'm standing beside Viki. Again, just to save time, and you will see the save state at the top left of the screen, so you know there's no fuckery going on here. So first things first, if you're wondering what the hell Kaza Village is, no one really knows for certain. It's positioned on the teleport list, which I will show you here by enabling the secret dungeon code. Again, I'll be keeping the codes on screen down here on the bottom left probably, or wherever on screen, so you know there's no fuckery happening. So like I said, if you're wondering what Kaza Village is, nobody knows. Its position I'll show you on the teleport list, which is on the last page. Between Rockaxe Castle and Rakute Mountain, this would indicate it should be Highway Village in Matilda. Or it could possibly be a mistranslation of Saja Village. It's normally hidden and not selectable, but if you enable the secret dungeon code, Kaza Village will show up as a teleport option. So normally if you enable Kaza Village without this code by using a different code, if you select Kaza Village, it will teleport you back to the intro cutscene at the beginning of the game with Ryo and Joey in the Highland camp at Tenzan Pass. But what this code does is it enables Kaza Village on Viki's teleport list, but it also changes its teleport location to just inside the entrance of the secret dungeon. So I'm using Duck Station for this video. I don't know how it is for other emulators, but this is how to add codes with Duck Station. I'm going to have to go into OBS here, so this part could be a little fucky. So here we have cheats. If I click on cheats, it's not going to show up in OBS, but essentially if I click on cheats, it's going to open a drop-down menu where it will say Cheat Manager, Enable Cheats, and Apply Cheats. I'll put a screenshot of it in. Click on Cheats Manager. And what Cheats Manager will do is, let me just drag that up above the game. It will open up this screen. And then when you're on this screen, I don't know if that's even showing. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I had to click on it to get the mouse to show up. So when you open up Cheats Manager, it will show this screen. And basically you want to click on Add Code. Now, here we have the description. So for the description, type in Secret Dungeon, as I have, just for reference. Now we know it is how to access the secret dungeon. Then you have Group Gameshark Automatic. Oh, sorry, that's not showing up on screen. Let me... Okay, so that's... Cheat Code Editor. Is that the one? There we go. Sorry. And now I need to bring that above Duck Station as well. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that was a separate window. I just caught it on the corner of my eye. So here in description, you're going to type secret dungeon. Type whatever you want, it doesn't matter. This is just, like I said, a name for your reference. I use secret dungeon, so I know it will give me access to the secret dungeon. Or you could type secret dungeon Viki or whatever, it doesn't matter. So then you have group, ungrouped, type, Gameshark, activation, automatic. Leave those as they are. Do not touch them. And then in here, in this little box, copy paste this code. And then you click save. I'm not going to click save because I already have it enabled over here. I'll have all the codes in the description below, so don't worry if you didn't fully see it on screen. So essentially save that code. I will bring duck station back up now above that. I only want the side here enabled. So save, enable the cheat. Kaza Village will become viewable, selectable on Viki's teleport list, and it should take you to the secret dungeon. But before we teleport into the dungeon, there are 4 other Gameshark codes you'll need if you want to make it through the dungeon. One that bypasses the first boss battle script, one that auto-wins a boss fight, one that completes the trigger for the 4th boss, and the last one being a rune fix. I'll explain what that is later. I'll have the codes again for all of these in the description below, but you can see them down here or on the bottom of the screen. Bypass first boss, fight moth boss, which is the auto win boss fight, fix 4th boss, escape talisman, that's the teleport into the dungeon using an escape talisman, and the rune fix. Again, I'll have the codes for all of these in the description below. Use the same method for adding these codes as you did for the first. Add cheat, give it a name, copy paste the corresponding code. Again, they'll all be in the description below. And again, for complete transparency, just so you know there's no fuckery and I'm not tricking you, I'll also keep all of these on screen for the entire video so you know what I'm enabling, what I'm disabling, when to use them, and how to bypass the soft locks and broken scripts. So without these codes, the game will freeze and soft lock at 4 of the 5 bosses, as scripts for triggering the boss fights are incomplete. Do not activate any of the boss codes yet, by the way. They'll need to be enabled and disabled at certain points in the dungeon. The only code that should be activated right now is the secret dungeon code. So, talk to Viki. Select Kaza Village. And now we're in the secret dungeon. So the first thing you'll notice is the glowing circle just above us. Do not step in that circle. What that circle is going to do is it will try to teleport us back to Saja Village, but the script for the teleport is broken. You might also notice there's no actual entrance, it's just a teleporter. So the boulder in Saja Village is actually blocking off a cave entrance, which even if you use some editing trickery by going into the game files or whatever to remove the boulder, the cave has no entrance trigger. But I suspect somewhere inside that cave is a teleporter that leads to this dungeon. You might also have noticed the snakes around the torches. And if I go up here, you'll notice something. Double-headed serpents, double-headed snakes on the walls. Very similar to the walls and the statues in the Sindar ruins just outside of Muse. So this secret dungeon is very clearly a Sindar ruin. So let's just head straight up the stairs. Right, so the purpose of the dungeon. Basically, you have to ascend through all of the floors, and on your way through all of the floors, as you progress, you're supposed to gather 8 different little red orbs or gemstones. And what you do with those gemstones is at the very top on the last floor, you place those gemstones into a sealed door. And behind that door is it's like an orb. It's like a reskinned save crystal. Like the journeyman crystal, but instead of being blue, it's purplish pink. And when you interact with it, it opens up some dialogue giving you the option of New Game Plus. But if you collect all 8 of the gemstones you need to open the door, what happens is you trigger an incomplete broken script and the game will soft lock as soon as the doors open. By the way, all of the dialogue the orb has is untranslated gibberish. I had a level 99 cheat on because I was speedrunning through the game. And that's why you're seeing an ungodly amount of XP gain there. So this is the first of the red orbs. Now, like I said, you will, if you gather all of them, you will get that soft lock. So don't bother collecting the gemstones. There is another way past the sealed door. And I'll show you the soft lock that happens if you get the gemstones when we get there. I'll edit it in. But just for the sake of it, I'll take one. Every time you take a red gemstone or orb, whatever it is, it's automatically added to the door on the top floor. Now, as I said earlier, the dungeon is unfinished and a lot of the floors are copy-pasted. So I think you go through like the same 5 or 6 floors multiple times. I think there's around 30 floors or so in total. We're getting to the first boss here. So first things first, before we do anything else on this floor, save. So you'll see the save state there. The reason is because this is where we're going to encounter our first soft lock. So you want to save state here. If we turn, so this corner here just to my left, if I turn that corner, what's going to happen is Ryo will automatically start walking towards the stairs. Basically, he'll hit a trigger for a script. He'll start walking towards the stairs, but he'll stop at the end of the stairs and the boss fight won't trigger, which soft locks the game. So save state it here, as I just did. Now we go into the cheats manager here, as you can see, and we want to enable secret dungeon bypass first boss. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to skip the trigger entirely so that we can just waltz on up the stairs. Now, once we're up the stairs, disable the cheat. Immediately disable the cheat. So now that we're on the 6th floor, the enemies actually start changing for random battles. I believe every 5 floors after each boss battle, the random battles get progressively more difficult. I think you saw on one of the previous floors I was fighting, was it Hollies? So you face Hollies, Furfurs, Bonbons, things like that. Here on floors 6 to 10, we'll be facing, the enemies from the forest path between Banner Village and the Tauren Republic. So we'll be fighting samurai, Amazonians, and tigers. So a lot of the rooms in this dungeon are empty, or they lead to dead ends. So there really isn't a whole lot to explore, to be honest. And once you've seen like 6 or 7 floors, quite frankly, you've seen the entire dungeon. So I'm just going to zip right through here until we get to the next boss battle. Now, it doesn't matter which stairs you go up, they both lead to the same area. It's just easier to take the right stairs because it takes us closer to the stairs for the next floor. Now, this is the second boss battle. This one should trigger correctly, but in the rare event of a softlock, save stated anyway. Again, you're going to see the save state on the top left of the screen. Now that we've save stated, we can approach the boss. By the way, you don't have to wait, or you don't have to enter this dungeon with just Ryo. There are 2 times you can enter the dungeon, or 2 times you should have been able to enter the dungeon naturally at the end of the game. Either as soon as you win the final war battle and you gain access to Lorenwi, or after you defeat the Beast Rune. I think it was intended for you to come here alone with just Ryu, but if you come here before you go into Lorenwi and fight the Beast Rune, you can actually bring party members, which makes this a little bit easier. So it should only take about 3 or 4 turns to beat this guy. But you see what I mean about the boss fights being placeholders, because this teleported us into the sewers under Two River City. Now we can head up the stairs. Again, you'll see a lot of familiar pathways and corridors. Like I said, it's the same few rooms, same few floors copy pasted. Again, I'm running past all the red gemstones. Don't need them. It will trigger a soft lock. So you'll notice here now, this floor, the floor before it, it's the same in the lead up to the first boss battle. So once we go up these stairs, we will be in the room for the third boss. And the third boss is going to be a pain in the ass. I'll be honest right now. It's even with the cheats, with the Gameshark codes, the third boss is very, very buggy. So let's go here. Same as the first boss again. You want to save state on this corner. Do not go any further than this corner yet. So, like I said, this boss battle is going to be a pain. It's extremely buggy. And as I said, even with the cheat enabled to get past the boss, there is a very good chance it's still going to softlock. So this boss may take several attempts to trigger correctly. What we want to do is go back to Cheat Manager, and we want to enable Secret Dungeon Fight Moth Boss. So we're going to be fighting the moth over here. We can't bypass this one. So I'll show you what happens. Hopefully I get lucky and it works first time, but sometimes it will not trigger, as you can see here. So, did not trigger, I'm soft locked. This is why we save state. So I'm going to reload the save state I just made on the corner. Now, here's what we do. We fight a random battle. You might be thinking, why the hell would we fight a random battle? For some reason, fighting a random battle after you enable the Fight Moth Boss cheat and then going to fight the Moth Boss seems to increase the chances that the cheat will work correctly. And of course I got the most annoying fight possible. By the way, when you enter a random battle for this cheat, make sure that you do not run from the fight, you do not bribe the fight, you have to fight the fight. And you also have to trigger the fight on that corner right before the trigger. I'm stuck in a loop of bullshit here with being unbalanced. I didn't think it was possible to be unbalanced while you were unbalanced, but evidently you can be. So I am going to drink some tea. Why am I still unbalanced? This is infuriating. Isn't it just typical though? Maybe I should run from this fight and reload the save state. As this is dragon. Oh my god, Rio, please, for the love of all that is holy, stand the fuck up. You know what? This is bullshit. Let's reload the save state. So let's try and trigger a better random battle. For the love of all that is holy. Right, that's auto. At least this way we'll probably kill 2 to 4 of them. Do not unbalance me. Please do not unbalance me. Unbalanced. Son of a bitch. It's horrible luck to trigger this fight twice in a row. There we go. Like I said, even after I do this, there is a chance the cheat will not trigger correctly. So we might have to do this a few times to get the cheat to work. So fingers crossed. Pray it works. Soft locked again. So I'll show you one thing we can do here is if we enable the fix 4th boss cheat, it will partially trigger the battle. I say partially because the thing doesn't load in, as you can see. Now you can fast forward by holding tab, which you can then see that Ryu does try to use the, what's the spell called? Forgiver sign, the 4th spell. But after he does it, the game will soft lock and freeze. So we're gonna load back. We are going to re-enable fight Moth Boss, and we're going to fight another battle here. So again, you might have to do this a few times. It is very buggy, but it does seem to have a better chance at working when you fight a random battle. So pain in the ass, but just bear through it. I don't want to edit any of this out. I want to leave it in to keep it as raw as possible, so you know I'm not fucking around. Fingers crossed. Please work. There we go. So this cheat automatically wins the fight. He casts the 4th rune, insta-kills the boss, and then we're done. Again, placeholder fight. You could see it teleported us to the forest between Banner Village and the Tauren Republic. So now that we're upstairs, disable the cheat, and we can start running back up. So we're on the 16th floor now, I believe. We will be encountering new enemies in random battles. As I said, it gets progressively more and more difficult as you go further up the tower. At this point onwards, the battle music changes. So it's no longer the battle music that plays, the standard battle music, but from now on it should be the tactics theme. You know, the music that plays when you're in the war room preparing for a war battle. So here we are now at the 4th boss. So again, we want to save state, and again you'll see the save state on the top left. So this is the one we want to enable the fix 4th boss cheat here. So if we don't enable that cheat, we will encounter another softlock. So this is the rat again from the sewers. We annoyingly have to fight him again. I'd like to point out I'm playing this on the PAL version of the game, by the way, but these codes, I have tested it. These codes work on both the North American and PAL version of the game, so you're good either way. We encountered a softlock, so it's a good thing we save stated there. Now we can go back in and fight the boss. Like I said, unfinished dungeon, full of softlocks. These can happen, which is why we save state every few floors. Trying to drink my tea, but it is ice cold. It soft locked again, unfortunately, so save state. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen again. That's actually the first time I've had 2 soft locks happen in a row on this boss. You know, in the last probably 6-7 years, I've done this dungeon. Oh, fucking hell, we got another soft lock. So let's use Forgiver Sign and see if we can get through it. In the last 6 or 7 years, I've done this dungeon 3 times. And I've only ever had 1 soft lock on this boss before. And isn't it typical that when I go to record a video on it, we've now had 3 soft locks in a row. You can see the animations completely derping out there because you're really not meant to be using that spell here. Fortunately didn't one-shot him. Please do not soft lock. So is the soft lock linked to him using that other attack on the first turn? Another soft lock. You can hear the audio derping out, so we reload. You know what, let's try and fight a random battle before we fight the boss. Maybe just like the previous floor, that will fix it. As I said, this has never happened before. In the few times I've done this before, I've only ever encountered 1 soft lock on this boss. So this is just typical bullshit that's happening because I'm trying to record a video on it. So we triggered a fight. Let's see if it's going to work fine now. Now, if you bring a full party, which frankly I probably should have done, I should have used my other save where I have a 6-man party here, and this boss would have been dead in half a turn. Which maybe that's why I'm encountering this potential soft lock. So, right. Let's use Forgiver Sign now, and that should hopefully finish him off. I say hopefully, I'm not certain. Please kill him off. Thank you. So, if you're doing this to avoid that headache, make sure you come here before you defeat the beast runes so you can come here with a full party. Okay, so now disable the fix fourth boss cheat, and we progress further up the dungeon, back through the repeated floors that you've seen multiple times before. Like I said, it's all the same. There's nothing really special or unique. The dungeon was unfinished. I don't know if it was intended to have the same few floors on repeat the whole time throughout the tower, but like largely it is complete. It's just got a few broken scripts, a few broken triggers, gibberish enemy names, like placeholder text and placeholder bosses, but you know, by and large, it is a complete or nearly complete dungeon. So again, here we are, a repeat of the boss floor you've seen twice already. So on the same corner, save state. Again, you'll see the save state on screen. Now what we want to do is enable the fight moth boss cheat again. So this one, secret dungeon, fight moth boss cheat. And now we can go trigger the fight against the moth boss. Even though I have no uses of the spell left, it's scripted, so let me drink my ice cold green tea. Now, as soon as we're up the stairs, again, you want to disable that cheat immediately. So, cheat disabled and save state. So, at this point, the game is going to start soft locking at random, and the chances of soft locks happening are going to increase with each floor. So, save state frequently from here on out, but try to have two separate save states going. So you want to have like save state 1, and then on the next floor save state 2, and then on the third floor go save state 1 again, because you don't want the game soft locking while you're save stating, which can happen and has happened to me. So let's progress back up the dungeon. I'm gonna go save state game save 2. There's the music change. This might be the first time you've heard it. I don't know why. But it is what it is. Also, as I was saying, you know how there's no... Well, I'll say it after the battle. So as I was saying, you know how there's no music in the dungeon itself? Like there isn't even any audio. One of the things the guy from the Indonesian video uploaded with all his trickery and editing work and whatever, he also edited in like birds chirping and whatnot into here. He added in sound effects and stuff. So like I said, a lot of fuckery going on in that video. Let me save state here. Save state, game save 1. Again, you see all of it on screen. I'm not intelligent enough to do any of that fuckery. So let's go around. We want to take the right stairs because it's... No, shit, I went the wrong way. This is the left stairs. Never mind. Doesn't matter. We'll get there anyway. I wanted to go to the right stairs because it's closer to the staircase, but here we are. Now we're going to save state, game save 2. This is the final floor. I'll just show you some of the rooms here. You can see we've been going up, so it's very clearly a tower. I'll just run from this fight. So down here, once I go through here, it's going to trigger... I'm just going to save state again. It's going to trigger... So if I had all of the gemstones, once I take another couple of steps down, it would trigger the event for opening the door. What would happen is, you know what? I'm going to edit that in right now, and then I'll come back to this part. Right. So you saw what happened. Basically, he automatically approached the door with all of the gemstones in it. The door opened, and then the game soft locked. Ryu just stood there looking like an idiot, staring at the staircase. So if we don't get all of the gemstones, you're thinking, right, well, there's the door. How the hell do we get past the door? Well, in typical Konami fashion, there is a very easy way to get past doors in this game. But first things first, look at the door. Do you notice the pattern? Again, they're all snakes, and the snake is biting the gemstone. Just saying, the Sindar seem to have a great fascination with snakes, with serpents, so possible theory. Are they serpent people? Who knows? We've never seen them. So, how do we get past? Not the Matilda gate glitch, we don't push it, but instead, you either go to the left or right of the door, because for some inexplicable reason, we can stand on the wall. And when we stand on the wall, we can walk behind the door and then up the staircase. So now we save state here again. Right. This is pretty much it. If we walk forward, the reason I save stated here is because I want to show you a few different things. First, let's explore around the room. There isn't a whole lot to look at here. That's pretty much it. There's the orb I was talking about. It's just a reskinned save crystal, purplish pink instead of blue. So now let's approach it. Once we approach it, once we touch those stairs, that's it. We are locked in. Ryu will automatically approach and trigger a conversation. And even if we try to back out of the conversation, he'll take a few steps back, but because you're still in the trigger zone, he'll automatically approach the orb again and restart the conversation. So none of the text is translated, as you can see. But again, as I mentioned in that Indonesian video, the dialogue box is actually moved up about an inch or so on the screen. It's a completely different looking dialogue box, and all of the text is translated pretty much identically to what is said in the rough translation on the forum thread. So very clearly editing trickery going on there. Anyway, none of the text is translated. It's all gibberish, but a couple of data miners, Piriel, Nia, I think Piriel and Nia over on the Suikoden source forums, they figured out all of this information, and Nia done a rough translation of the text. The purple orb that we're interacting with here is a rune, or appears to be a rune, and it calls itself the Rune of Circulating Paths. What that means, I'll let you speculate. But remember, it's a rough translation, and no, it's not the circle rune. So I'm just going to stop that speculation before it even starts. So what does the rune talk to you about? The three options. So you have yes, no, new path, which is a question. You're asking the rune, what do you mean new path? The rune talks about new beginnings and asking if you want to start a new path. And if you're indecisive with your answers and you say no, the rune talks about how time does not flow for it. The rune also talks about how this world has a million forms. Basically, the Suikoden multiverse, essentially. So, like I said, three options. We have yes, no, new path. Doesn't matter what we select, it's all gibberish. We can't see any of it. So, if we select no, then it asks us if it wants us to, or if it wants it asks us if it wants us to teleport us out of the dungeon, essentially. So now we have the options yes and no. If we say no, we'll back away. The conversation ends. Ryu will back away, but he's still in the trigger zone, as I mentioned, so he'll automatically approach the orb again and start a new conversation. But if we say yes, the orb will teleport us back to Saja village. But the teleport is incomplete. The screen will flash white, or not flash white. The screen will flash white and stay white, but it hasn't soft locked. Sorry, my voice broke there. It hasn't soft locked. You can still control your character. You can try to navigate your way out of the village, which will fix the white screen. But aside from that, nothing happens. So I'm going to show you, because even though it's a white screen, you can navigate your way out, and I'm going to tell you how. We say yes, it will teleport us out now. So it's going to teleport us. I figured out it's going to teleport us to the boulder where the child is playing. So now we need to press right on our D-pad 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we press down 14 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now we press right 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we press down 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we can just hold down right and run towards the exit of the village. Hopefully we don't run into the guy who's standing near the entrance of the village. We haven't. There we go. We have been sent out of the village. White screen fixed. Once we go back into Saja village, you'll notice nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. So how did I figure out the 6:14, 6:10 and then run? Simple. I just stood here, counted the steps myself, because I suspected if it was teleporting us out, it was going to teleport us in front of the entrance to the cave. So I just went from there, stood in front of the entrance, and then I counted my steps, how many steps it would take in each direction to get to the exit of the village. It was simple enough. Anyway, load state. We're going to go back to game state 1. Approach the orb again. So if we keep selecting the first option, what's going to happen is the game will try to teleport us back to the beginning of the game in Tenzan Pass. But for some reason, it skips forward a minute and it sorry, my voice broke. So, like I said, for some reason, it tries to skip forward a minute and it tries to start you during the ambush where Raud is talking to Luca instead of starting you in the tent with Joey. And as soon as the music starts playing, the game will instantly crash, which I suspect is caused by yet another incomplete script. So I'm not going to do that because that's going to break the game and then I'm going to have to reload the game. But essentially, if we select yes, the game will crash. So how do we get around this? Cheat Manager. You may have noticed at the bottom, Secret Dungeon Rune Fix. That's just what I called it. You could call it Secret Dungeon Teleport Fix, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Enable that. Go back to the game and we select yes, I think 3 times. I think it's 3 times. It's going to ask us if we're sure. We say yes again. Now it's going to teleport us back to the beginning of the game. Actually, you know what? Before that, I just want to show you proof. Let's reload. I just want to show you, to be absolutely 100% positive, to show you the proof. I'm going to show you my inventory. So you see here, I have 5 escape talismans, Rage, Earth, Mother Earth, Thunder, Champion, Double Beat, Counter, Fury, 2 Poison. In special, I have Flint, the Suikoden map, Blinking Mirror. Runes, I have Double Beat, Bright Shield, and Fury. In strength, you can see all of my stats there. I have the Thunder Rune equipped to the weapon, so you can see it all. I just want to use that as kind of proof that there's no bullshit happening here. So we're going to zip through this. We're going to select yes. Select yes again. And now it's going to teleport us back to the very beginning of the game. However, I will say New Game Plus is buggy. You saw there the translation at the top right was gibberish. You've Joey approaching her tent. Some of the dialogue is going to be broken. There is broken text, and very soon we will hit a soft lock. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. I have tried and tried and tried, and no matter what I do, I have not been able to progress past the upcoming soft lock. But essentially, we are in New Game Plus right now. So here we have all the dialogue from the beginning of the game. Yes, Nanami is waiting for us. Skip past the dialogue. Doesn't matter what option you choose here. Doesn't matter what options you choose in these events. It doesn't matter which route you take. I've tried them all. I've tried every combination, every variation of the dialogue and dialogue choices, which paths to go. Nothing seems to prevent the soft lock. But you'll see we're going to have gibberish text appearing here. Surprise, Rio? Kind of sounds like he's sneaking into our bed in the middle of the night. Joey's text is broken. Now you see Joey joins party. As I mentioned earlier, this was from a save where I cheated everybody to 99 to speedrun through the game for footage reasons for previous videos. So you see there he has the black sword rune, he has a water rune, he's at level 99. Now, Rio, our first inventory. See, I have the 5 escape talismans: Rage, Earth, Mother Earth, Thunder, Champions, Double Beat, Counter, Fury, 2 Poison. Same equipment: Rune, Double Beat, Bright Shield, Fury, Strength, same stats, Thunder, it's all there. We are in New Game Plus. But like I said, it's broken. The soft lock is coming up very soon. Can't die here, yada yada yada. Like I said, doesn't matter which route you go. You can go right, or sorry, you can head towards the east, then you can come back to the camp. You can talk. Doesn't matter which dialogue option you pick there. You can head north and take the quicker route. Doesn't matter which dialogue options you pick there. I have tried every combination, and every single time we hit the soft lock. There's literally no way that I can figure out to get past this soft lock. I've tried so many different things. Nothing seems to work. Oh, we'll just skip past all of the dialogue because we've seen all this a million times before. So the soft lock will be happening very soon. If someone technical, someone who knows more, a programmer, whoever, if anyone can figure out how to get past this soft lock, I would love to know, because this is quite literally the only thing now preventing New Game Plus. You know what? I'll have him defend and I'll have Joey use that. Just to show you. No nonsense happening. Although it is glitching the hell out of the animations for the runes because again it seems to be incomplete. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just done a unite attack or something. But essentially, let me hold tab so I can speed it up. The animation still seems to be happening. I should probably throw an epilepsy warning or something up on screen for that. No, I didn't need to fast forward. So, see, the runes glitch the hell out from the secret dungeon onwards. So, there's still some... Again, level 99 cheat was active on the previous playthrough. So, this was for grabbing footage for previous videos. So, that's why you're seeing bullshit XP gain. Okay, they'll try to run off. Again, I have tried every variation of the dialogue here. Tried all of it. Nothing works, nothing changes. But what happens here is when we dive off the cliff and the flashback scene plays, we will be immediately met with a softlock. Which will be happening in just a few seconds. The music will keep playing, but the image will freeze. There we go. Like clockwork, the exact same frame it freezes on every single time. The exact same frame right there. The music will play through to more or less the end, but the image freezes here. And when the music stops playing, the game completely soft locks and you're stuck. Nothing you can do. I mean, if anybody out there knows how to progress past this point, I would love to know. It seems to be impossible. Nobody seems to have figured it out. The Indonesian video that showed off the secret dungeon, the one that's heavily edited, at this point he seems to have edited in the color intro, even though he only fought like one battle in the video. So and it shows the entire flashback scene, but again, it's in color. He only fought one battle, very clearly edited in. But yeah, essentially it locks and freezes here. Now there were other issues, like you saw some of the dialogue messed up and completely broke. The rune animations are completely messed up as well. I mean, the rune animations you can probably live with, but I'm really curious if we can somehow figure out how to get past this softlock. We'll then be able to jump into the actual game itself and see what other changes are in the game from New Game Plus, or to see if it breaks anything else down the line. Because like I said, it is unfinished and it is buggy. But if we can just break past this one point, just this one point is all we have to get past, and then we have the whole game ahead of us. Because you saw with my inventory, we still have the blinking mirror. So if we use the blinking mirror, what happens? Does it teleport us to the castle? Will Viki be there? Will it just teleport us to the current state of the game and we appear in North Window? Like, what will happen? I really want to find out. So please, if anybody knows how to get past this softlock, please tell me. Please tell everyone. Because there's so much we can explore and mess around with once we figure this out. But it also shows how much of the secret dungeon was completed. How close it was to completion. It doesn't seem like, at least on the developer's end, that there was a whole lot of work left to do with the Secret Dungeon and New Game Plus. So maybe, fingers crossed, it would be cool if it was in the HD remaster, but look, we're at the softlock. This is as far as I've been able to progress. Now, I think I said that I'd show the escape talisman method as well. So for that, I'm going to have to reload. So you're going to see a save state on the top left of the screen. There it is. So now we go into Cheat Manager. We want to disable Secret Dungeon and disable Secret Dungeon Rune Fix. Now I want to talk to Viki here just to show you that Kaza Village is no longer on the list. Oh, well, it is there because apparently I had it enabled when I spoke to her. So let's try and reload. I reloaded the wrong save state, typical. So it's disabled. It shouldn't be on the list, or if it is, yeah, there it is. It's gone now. So I had to disable it before I loaded the save state. So it's gone. Now, what we'll do is we'll go to Secret Dungeon Escape Talisman. And as I mentioned earlier, what that's going to do is it's going to alter escape talismans so that instead of teleporting to the beginning of the dungeon you're currently in, it will teleport you to the entrance of the secret dungeon. Now, you can alter escape talismans through Gameshark Codes to do a number of things. You can alter them. Sorry, my voice is all dry and scratchy. I don't normally talk for this long. Jesus, it's been an hour? Fuck me. So I was saying, yeah, you can alter the escape talismans to do a number of things. Like, with the correct Gameshark code, you can have it teleport you to the secret room on the second floor in Reddit. You can actually also use them to teleport to the demo. So for those that weren't aware, Suikoden 2 had a demo in Europe and Japan. It didn't have one in North America, but the demo content is still in the game's files. So you can alter the escape talisman to teleport you to the demo, which took place in North Sparrow Pass. And you can run through the demo there, but the demo is a bit buggy in this, as treasure chests will soft lock the game, and I don't think random battles are very finicky and they can soft lock the game, but you can kind of access the demo through escape talismans. So I've been rambling. Secret Dungeon Escape Talisman. We have it enabled, so talk to Viki. Now we want to teleport somewhere where we can use an escape talisman. So North Sparrow Pass, Cave of the Wind, somewhere like that. So we're going to go to North Sparrow Pass, and then we're going to open our inventory and we're going to use the escape talisman, and it should teleport us to, I believe, the 26th floor of the tower. So this is going to completely bypass all of the boss battles. So we're right there near the end. It completely bypasses all of the boss battles, so you don't have to worry about doing all those annoying methods I showed you about enabling and disabling cheats and whatnot. You just have to worry about potentially encountering annoying soft locks on these last few floors. We're just going to run from that fight. Ignore it, keep running, and here we are, should be the final floor. So this is why I went with the Viki method first, because we could actually explore the dungeon. Now there we are, we're in the room with the rune. So that's just a very, very quick method. If you want to bypass everything, you don't care about any of the exploration or anything, you just want to straight up get to the rune, get to the orb, jump into New Game Plus. This is a massive time saver. And this is the method I've been using, frankly, to get to the New Game Plus, to test everything, to try and break past the softlock. So one more thing then I want to show is Saja Village. I'm going to have to reload here. So save state, again, you're going to see it. I'm going to load the save state to Saja Village. Again, you'll see the save state top left. You know, there's no nonsense going on. So one thing I'd like to point out here is that in the Indonesian video, these, again, with the dialogue box appearing about an inch or so above where it's supposed to be, he's very clearly just freeze framing and then popping up a dialogue box. He has these two ornaments renamed to Sindar ornament. So this is just like an odd statue or something, and then this one is an outlandish ornament. I don't know what this is, but it looks like a guy doing a pose of some kind. So if we interact with it, see, it's just called odd ornament, and this is a two-headed snake, two-headed serpent. Again, clearly they are Sindar ornaments, but they're not translated as such, so outlandish ornament. And the other thing I want to show here is at the item shop. This only appears after you've defeated the beast rune, by the way. So once you've defeated the beast rune and the only party member you have is Rio, go to Saja Village instead of heading into the war room or going to Tenzan Pass to meet Joey. So you come here, you go to the item shop, and you talk to the Rune Master. And you will notice she sells the Rage, Flowing, Cyclone, Mother Earth, and Thunder runes. You can also get rare finds where you'll find Blue Gate, Pharaoh runes, which is the offspring rune of the Charm rune that Jean has, I believe. There's also Star Earrings and Power Rings. Why, at the very end of the game, would you need all of these powerful runes and equipment when you can no longer add people to your party? It's because, as you've seen earlier, you carry your inventory over into New Game Plus. So I think this was intended where if you did want to do New Game Plus for whatever reason, maybe you didn't get all 108 stars. Maybe you were about to get the bad ending, people died perhaps, and you wanted to start over. You could come here, stock up on all of the best runes and equipment, as many as you can carry, bring them with you into New Game Plus. Though, as you saw from Joey joining the party, he still had all of his equipment and everything from the point he left the party. So I suspect all of the characters in New Game Plus will also have all of their equipment and runes and everything, their runes, their levels, whatnot, carried over with them. So this is just if you wanted to take some extra bonuses with you, as I believe there's a very limited number of these elemental runes you can purchase, or not purchase, I don't think you can purchase them. There's a very limited number of these runes you can get throughout the game itself. So this is your chance to really stock up, grab as many as you want, and take them with you into New Game Plus, because I mean, I've been putting Thunder runes on some of my characters' weapons, and it adds half damage. So whatever damage you do, it adds an extra half on top of that. So amazing. Same with Rage. It adds an extra half damage. They're great runes to have, so really going to boost your power in New Game Plus. And I showed you the two-headed snake statue, so clearly Sindar stuff. Anyway, that's the secret dungeon and New Game Plus. Like I said, the dungeon is buggy, full of broken scripts, but it seems to mostly be complete. And New Game Plus, aside from the rune animations messing up, a few bits of dialogue being broken, and the soft lock at the flashback. It's working fine. I think maybe once we can, if someone can figure out how to get past that soft lock, it's going to open up a whole world of possibilities for all of us playing this game. So yeah, that's it. I wasn't planning on making this video. I certainly did not intend for this video to be over an hour long. I was thinking this is going to be 20 minutes tops, but here we are. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to leave it raw, unedited, except for that one little clip I'm going to edit in of the sealed door opening. Aside from that one little thing, it's going to be completely raw, unedited. So there you have it. Really spontaneous video. I was actually planning on recording the character tier list, but you know what, that's just going to have to wait till another day. There you have it. Anyway, that's the secret dungeon. If you need any help, if you're stuck at any point and you need to ask any questions about these codes or anything, feel free. I'll be more than happy to answer. Again, I'll have all of the codes in the description below. I'll have a link to the thread on Suikoden below. Yeah, that's it. So excited. You need any help, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all on the next video.